It's super windy out. We're exploring Long Island in our rental car. Our first stop is Dean's Blue Hole, located just west of Clarencetown. This blowhole was once the deepest in the world at 663 feet or 202 meters. Notice the platform in the middle? Athletes from all over the world come here annually to compete in the vertical blue free dive competition. Free diving is diving underwater for as deep or as far as possible on one single breath. It's amazing at how long these divers can hold their breath. The rock cliffs that surround the blue hole were absolutely stunning. People often climb these and then cliff dive off into the depths of the blue hole. We've also heard there's great snorkeling there as well, but we aren't going to have time for that today.
So here we are at the Flying Fish Marina in Clarencetown.
The Catholic church on the hill is just absolutely stunning. Father Jerome was a trained architect who designed and built many churches in the Bahamas. You may remember from our video to Cat Island, we visited the Hermitage, which he built on a really small scale. He has two churches which he built here in Long Island, and those are both normal size. First he built an angelic church, and then later, after converting, he built a Catholic church.
So this is what most of the drive has been like, except sometimes the potholes are horrible in sections of the road. But it's mostly paved, and there's really not a lot here. And I thought you'd see the water the whole way, but that's not the case at all. We just stopped at the marina. We went into the bakery, and they were like the rudest people ever. Not friendly at all. And apparently there's no grocery store. Nothing at all like what we thought this was going to be. I thought we would spend a couple of hours walking around Clarencetown. It was going to be some big town, but that's not the case at all. So here we are at Gordon's Beach Bar and Grill. You can see behind me, you have to come across the salt pond to get here. But it's beautiful. Look how beautiful this is. Wow. I was not expecting this. Here we are walking along this beautiful beach. We're hungry, so Google says they opened at 11, so we're hopeful that they're open. We did hear people talking, so I think they're open. And they have a lot of chairs for people if you want to come hang out at the beach, but Chuck and I aren't good for sitting on the beach.
The owner, Ernest, at age 62, is an island native, and he opened the restaurant just 2 years ago. He's super talkative and very interesting. We really enjoyed our time here, and the food was excellent. In fact, so good we forgot to make many photos. But we had conch fritters, cracked chicken, grouper fingers, fries, plantains, rum punch, and 2 K-licks. And this turned out to be the cheapest place that I think we ate the entire time in the Bahamas. We had heard Hamilton's cave tour was a must. So we stopped at the owner's house and followed him over to the cave entrance.
Be quiet. Here we go, down into the cave. So have you always owned this cave?
No, ma'am, no. Although it was in our family. Yeah. Yeah, these are supposed to be the largest caves in the Bahamas, actually.
Really?
That have been discovered so far. That is dry caves, right? According to the scientists, they believe these were formed by the ocean, that the ocean was up this high.
Really?
They eroded it out. They believe the water receded about 15,000 years ago. Right? Mm-hmm. And what we have mapped out is over 3,000 feet.
Whoa.
But
there's a snake.
There is a snake. were driving back from the Hamilton Cave, and we came back by Max's Conch Bar and Grill, and there's like, it's packed. Look how busy it is. So we stopped and got conch salad. They don't have tropical, it's just a regular conch salad.
You may remember that on our last trip to Long Island, we went on a really long dinghy ride to get here, and it was closed, and we were super disappointed. I'm glad we stopped today. It was very good. It tasted kind of like ceviche, but ceviche's not chewy.
Alright, we come down this long way to the shrimp hole. Can you see red shrimp?
There's a bunch of them.
Oh, I see it.
See the one right there?
Yeah, I see the one on the left.
There's a ton right here in the shallow water.
Oh, yeah.
Look at them all. My gosh, they're all over now. I'm looking out there in the open water. They're all over right here. I knew they were going to be small.
So it's Saturday morning and we have the rental car again. We have our laundry and we are heading to the Columbus monument because Columbus landed here and they have a monument erected to him. You can see behind me over here the parking lot. There's like a real parking lot. Google said the road ended like, I don't know, a quarter mile or so earlier. Leonard was telling us on our tour yesterday that Hurricane Joaquin sat here for 3 solid days and just kept building and building over them, and that a lot of people left the island after that because it was just so much damage. I think it was a hurricane like a level 5. I'll have to look it up to confirm, but he said that a lot of people left the island. It just did so much damage. And Chuck and I were figuring they can't get new windows because everything here is so expensive and so far to come, and they probably can't afford it. They just did good to survive and stay. And I don't think people here have AC anyway. You just kind of open up to the trade winds. But we've seen windows boarded up, and there are houses with boarded up windows, and people are just still living in them. But this road here, a lot of nicer places out here, super nice. Anyway, Chuck dropped me off with the laundry and the drinks, and this is the dinghy dock. You can see there's dinghies everywhere. So we're going to be getting back and going back to the big boat. He's dropping the rental car off and walking back while I stay with the laundry. It didn't go as planned. We went back by the laundromat, which was closed on the way out, and all we saw was the closed sign. So on the way back, we stopped and looked at the hours, and they're open every day except Saturday. Who would think a laundromat would be closed on a Saturday? We decided to give up on laundry. Chuck went and got some more drinks at the grocery store, and we got some Lozano because it's cheaper here than we can even buy it at home in the States. And it looks like some rain over behind me. So we are just going to head back to the big boat and have lunch because we wanted to go eat and the places are still not open. Sunday morning, April 16th, and we just made it to our new anchorage. Where we're at right now is called Calabash Bay. It's supposed to be a beautiful anchorage. You'll see over to the left there is a huge resort that used to allow boaters to come, but I heard they were short-staffed, so now they don't want the boaters coming. But anyway, it's really beautiful here. There's some gorgeous houses in front of me. The reef's behind me. We're hoping to go after lunch, have some dinghy fishing out on the reef or just some dinghy exploring. Chuck said it's still a little rough, but we'll see how it goes. We're kind of itching just to get out on the water a little more, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other boats here with us in this anchorage.
Dang.
It's a stud.
Oh, it is a stud. Looks snappy little sucky. Oh, don't tell me it's a needlefish. Oh, man. It is.
A giant needlefish or a
World
little
class needlefish.
They fight hard. Sorry, Mr. Needlefish. Look how shallow this shark is. And he's almost to shore. Look at that. The Columbus Monument. We were standing there yesterday looking out at the water, and now we're in the dinghy. And we made it all the way around from Cape Santa Maria. I just can't imagine, like, Columbus coming here and they have, like, no way to navigate, to know how deep it is, or to know what direction land is, or to know what the tides are. This is Cape Santa Maria Resort. Looks pretty nice.
We ended the day with a beautiful sunset, and we were super excited to be going to Conception Island tomorrow.
It is Monday, the 17th of April, and it is about 7:30. And we already have lines in the water and headed into the really deep water towards Conception Island. If it's nice, we may stay there. Or if we decide last minute we want to keep going, we'll go to Cat Island. But tomorrow's supposed to be nice, so we're hoping we can stay at Conception tonight, and then that makes for a shorter day tomorrow to get to Cat Island. There are little dolphins. Look at them go. It's Monday afternoon, and we made it here a little bit, like 12:30 or so, to Conception Island. It was super windy, got windier after we got here. I think Chuck's been clocking, I don't know, like 19 miles an hour wind gusts. You'll see it is super, super crowded here. I mean, like there's boats everywhere, tons of kids, people, some of these people over here, I think they got like 7 or 8 kids. But we haven't even gotten off because it's been so rough, and we kind of did the island before, and the sun's like cloudy, so we couldn't snorkel either. So, yeah, we're just kind of tired of being held hostage by the weather. I think we made the best of it that we could. And if we could catch a really great fish tomorrow, that would be awesome. Would really top it off. So it was a really, really super rolly night. Rainy, stormy. You can see in front of me there's clouds, almost a rainbow to the left. Clouds on the far left, and then clouds to the right. Storm kind of behind us as well. It's 6:50 in the morning, and it was just, we were just ready to get It was a mahi.
It's a big mahi.
Yeah. Is he taking out line?
Yeah, he kind of comes and goes. Taking it now. Put it on, stand by, and take it out of gear.
Okay. Okay.
Rod holder or something. You know. Pretty good sized fish. What are you doing?
Just making sure nobody's around us.
After the fish had time to die, we had to anchor up so that Chuck could go to the back and clean the fish, as it was too huge to try to store in the fridge to clean it later. After he cleaned the fish, our freezer was totally full, but we headed over to Cat Island to New Bite, dinghied ashore. Our first stop was Olive's Bakery, where we had to get some more of those flour cakes.
That one looks good.
Yeah. And is there like a pineapple tart or something I saw
I have
online?
some of the Bacchanal pineapple tart. This they'll buy a few. Some they buy just fresh.
Oh, okay.
After buying our baked goods stash at Olive's, we walked over to a new restaurant called Tingum Dim. It was a really cool new place, beautiful water views, and the food turned out to be very good. Chuck had tacos and I had chicken quesadillas. The drinks I thought were a little pricey, but the view was amazing and we were super happy and of course in a good mood after catching the big fish today.
Whoa, whoa. Is it very big or you still have it? Okay. A little tuna?
We ended the day smoking some mahi.
It's Thursday morning, and it's almost 1 o'clock. We went in this morning at about 8:15 to do laundry. The laundromat said they'd open at 8:30, but they didn't actually open until about 9:20. And anyway, thankfully we're the first ones and the only ones there because we had to take up, I think, like 6 washers, which was all they had, pretty much, and all 4 dryers that they had. So it took us a while to get everything done, but we were able to come back, have some smoked fish dip that Chuck made last night, and now we are headed off to Pipe Creek, which is about 2 hours from here, about 11 miles. We're going to anchor there in hopes that we can do some snorkeling and some dinghy riding. We are good with the fuel. I think we used 1/3 of our fuel, so we still got 2/3 of a tank. We're good with our water. We still have our whole big tank, and I think Chuck said we have maybe half of the smaller tank. And yeah, so now we have laundry, so we're pretty much good to go for a while. Look at this seaplane. I'm guessing that it belongs to the person in the big boat. This boat is ginormous. It's like 350 feet, I think Chuck said.
After we were anchored, we took the dinghy through the shallow waters of Pipe Creek, which were absolutely stunningly beautiful. Along the way, we went back to the Exuma Land and Sea Park to snorkel the coral gardens, and they were really, really pretty, but unfortunately we're still learning how to use the camera, and we lost all the footage. After that, we stopped at the Rocky Dundas, but by then the current was super strong, so we couldn't go in to really look at it. In our next video, we finally leave the Exumas and head to Andros as we continue to make our way back home in Florida.